or the inside of your elbow. Avoid contact with ill individuals and insist they isolate themselves. Sanitize frequently touched surfaces in your home and workplace several times a day. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. Download the free booklet at Scientology.org/stay well.
WOCA. Ocala.
And good morning. You're listening to AM Ocala Live, WOCA, The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. So we're broadcasting to you live from the Paddock Mall, streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, The Source Radio. As we are 24 minutes before the top of the 9 o'clock hour, 8:36, as we're moving through this Friday to get you closer to that weekend of Father's Day here, which is good. As we do here, before moving on with some good show here, we've got Mr. Russel Brunson, best-selling author and CEO of a $100 million software company, ClickFunnels. Best-selling author and entrepreneurial Russel Brunson. He's going to share market strategies on driving traffic to your online presence during such troubling times. Those troubling times, exactly everything we've been dealing with, and a lot of people have been dealing with the idea of basically small business getting through this worldwide pandemic. And I just want to say good morning, Russell. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely, partner. Absolutely. You know, as we think about where we're at now, 2020, I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day about where we were at, the month we were at prior to this worldwide pandemic. And we were discussing a little bit about more of, well, let's say for the United States, we were discussing more about how it was more of March that took a lot of the information to come at us, and then everything shutting down. So it was about the month of March. Here we are, June. March feels like forever ago. It feels like years ago. And for the small business owner, that's the issue. It's just been such a tumultuous time. And with that, we know that it's been such a struggle. But here we are, now June, trying to get back to that normalcy, opening things back up. And you got some good advice for those small businesses out there about what we had to go through with this tumultuous time.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, when the pandemic hit, I think so many businesses they relied on foot traffic, people walking past their stores or people driving past, and when the stay-home orders hit and all that foot traffic and disappeared, people started struggling like, well, how do I get people? How do I get customers? And so many companies have shifted online trying to figure out how to use the internet. And so that's what we've been spending so much time the last couple months is helping business owners understand that, like, hey, there's ways online to get traffic that are easier, they're simple, they don't cost as much money. And when they understand that, it becomes really exciting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people understand that if you go and you buy an ad on TV, it's going to be shown to every single person in your hometown. But the problem is the majority, 99% of people in your around aren't interested in what you're selling. So you're just wasting money. It's just like burning money. Where on the internet, the power is you can say, okay, I only want to show my ads to certain people, the people that are the most likely to buy my product. When you do that, it becomes really inexpensive to get your dream customers to actually come to you. And I think that's really the power of online that a lot of people don't know about. When they start using it, it's like, oh, this actually really is easy and it's so powerful to get your dream customers to come to you.
Gotcha. Now, how can these business owners master this emerging market tactics before most people even know that they even exist?
Yeah, the key with it is it's really, I think a lot of people think there's some big secret it's hard to figure this stuff out, but the reality is that most of the things that are working today, they're hidden in plain sight, right? So what I mean by that is Facebook, you look at Facebook or Instagram or Google, and like the things that are working, you can see them. They're right there, and it's interesting. So what I do is I always tell business owners, I said, you should go and follow like all of your competitors and people that have similar businesses to you or yours in different cities, so you can kind of see like what's working today, what's Facebook rewarding people for, because it changes all the time. for example, the other day, I'm an author, so I follow a lot of other authors to see how they're selling their books. And I saw this one guy, and he had this video that had been seen like 2 or 3 million times. And I was like, wow, this ad's doing really good. So I watched it, and the ad, he had basically taken his book and he dipped it in lighter fluid and lit it on fire. And like in this ad, he's like, my book is literally on fire. You should go buy a copy of it. And I was like, wow, that ad caught my attention first off, and I said, it's got 2 or 3 million views. It's got to be doing really well. So I actually called him up and I said, do you mind if I copy that idea? Like, I want to try it and see if it works for my book. And he's like, go for it. Just careful not to burn yourself. And so I took my book, I lit it in lighter fluid, and I lit it on fire. And it was a nightmare to try to film this little ad. But guys, the same thing. Like, my book's on fire. You should go buy a copy. And I put it online, and same thing. It took off, and the ad did so well for us. And so I think people understand this. You don't have to be super creative or really good. It's just kind of looking like what's Facebook rewarding people for in my industry right now, and then modeling the concepts that are doing really well. And
Sure.
If you do that, you stay in front of those marketing trends and have success as well.
Gotcha. Now, in your book, you state, don't wait for people to come to you. And I was going to say, how can an entrepreneur discover where their audience is congregating?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, a lot of business owners, they think that when they start, they put their business online, it's kind of like that movie, Filled with Dreams, where he says, if you build it, they will come.
Right.
But the reality is, you put it online doesn't mean people are actually coming to you. You have to actually, it's not like a store. If you set up a store in a strip mall, people are going to walk past and see it. But online, that doesn't happen. You have to figure out who your customers are and go and find them. And so what I always tell people, the very first step is really, if you want to find your customers online, you just have to know who they are. Then it's really easy to find them. So for example, I have a friend who's a dentist, and she was buying ads here, and it was, she was blanketing the whole city in ads on Facebook and Instagram, and it was really expensive for her. And she was about to turn them off. I said, well, the problem is you're trying to show it to everybody. I'm like, who is your dream customer? Like, if you could pick one person to show your ads to, like, who would it be? And she thought for a little bit, and she said, well, the customers that make us the most money are people who come in for Invisalign. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, well, what do we know about people that come in for Invisalign? And she said, well, they make this much money per year. These are neighborhoods they live in. Here's the kind of things they're interested in. So we made a list of all those things. And then we were able to go to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and things and say, okay, I want to show my ads, but instead of showing it to everybody, only show it to these specific people. And you give them all the criteria. And it's amazing how good you can target people online. And so what happened is that the only people who saw our ads were people who were most likely to actually want Invisalign. And then we made ads specifically talked about coming in for Invisalign. And what happens is her ad costs drop down to about 10% of what it was before.
Oh, wow.
And now she gets 10 and 20 new Invisalign clients coming into her practice every week. And so it's completely transformed her business at a cost that's like, so inexpensive it's ridiculous. And I think that's really the power of if you figure out who your customer is and you go and find them and bring them back to you online.
Interesting, yeah, because like you said, it's one of the things that's evolved in a certain way when it comes to having these platforms, right? That's where people kind of just saw the obvious, like, oh, well, this is a different platform. Social media, for example, is where I'm going to advertise. But you're taking it even a step farther and saying, well, hold on, you can get, and it's designed to, this platform, to get even more specific about certain things. Like you said, for example, those Invisalign customers, they not only narrowed down more of the product that they were selling, but they can actually narrow it down to the people that they see, the actual market that they have for that, and then kind of adjust the advertising based on that. That's interesting because in some essence, that's where thinking outside the box kind of comes around to the topic we've been discussing. It's like, how do you keep that small business thriving? And if you can cut costs but still have intuitive advertising, that's a win-win. And as one of the things I always heard growing up was that, if you run a business, one of the first things you do not cut is advertising. Like, so for the example of like, well, we need some trim to fat on the company here and that. We'll take away this. Well, they always say don't take away advertising, but in a way you're saying, well, hold on, you can a little bit, but you just got to use it better.
Yeah, exactly. Use it wisely. Cut out the money you're wasting. You're showing your ads to people who don't care, and only spend it on the people most likely to buy, and then it becomes a big win.
Gotcha. Now, where can the listeners go for more information?
Yes, my new book's coming out right now, and if they go to Amazon and they search for Traffic Secrets, they can find it there. But because we're during the launch week right now, I actually have went and pre-bought a whole bunch of hardbound copies we're giving away for free on one of my websites. So if people go to trafficsecretsbook.com, so it's trafficsecretsbook.com, they can go get a free copy there. They just got to cover the shipping and handling, but I prepaid for the hardbound copies, and we're giving away this week, so they can get a free copy if they want over there.
Excellent. Well, there you go, folks. Russel Brunson, the best-selling author and CEO of a $100 million software company, and with his new book, Traffic Secrets, the Underground Playbook for filling your websites and funnels with your dream customers. Well, thank you for the time, partner. We appreciate it, and you guys have yourself a great weekend.
Thanks so much for having me.
You got it, buddy. As we're now coming up on 15 minutes before the top of the 9 o'clock hour, stay tuned. We're going to take a little break here, WOCA The Source, and we got a little bit more coming your way right here. WOCA Ocala, WOCA The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. Back after this.
PPIR is a networking group formed to serve the realtor and small business community. It primarily serves the real estate and construction industry, but is open to all businesses that provide any service or product to the real estate business community. PPIR has no membership dues or fees for attendees. The watchwords are keep it simple and maximize networking time. PPIR chapters meet 3 times monthly at different locations after normal business hours. For information on this, call 352-615-9412 or go to events at ppirevents.com. PPIR, professional people in real estate.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured